Hello everyone and welcome to my new video on stock market where I'm going to discuss about 10 large cap stocks that you can buy for next 10 years. That means for long term investment. I will discuss about 10 very large companies in India which you can buy for very long term. And also I will give you the reasons for it, like why you should buy it. And also I have bought many of these stocks from this 10. So these are mostly my reasons why I have bought majority of these stocks. And these are very large companies in India. I will discuss about that also. And also I will advise you not to follow these stocks blindly. I mean, just I have told this that, okay, these are 10 stocks, so you should buy it. You should also research from your side, like if my facts are correct. And also you should research more like before buying a stock. And also do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you like my content, because that encourages me to make more type of, this type of contents. And before proceeding to the 10 stocks, so let me discuss some points. So there are very general points about investing. So the first one is that you don't need to make money on every stock you pick. So here I am giving you 10 stocks. It's not that all the 10 stocks will do very good in long term. Maybe 5 of them will do very good. 2 of them will do kind of okay. And 3 may do very bad. It can happen. But you should see that at least 5 or 6 of them are doing very good. In that case, your overall returns will be very good. So that I will show with the example here. So whatever 10 stocks I have taken here, the overall CAGR returns for 10 years is 17.5%. And you will see that all the 10 stocks has not performed equally. Some has performed very bad, some are okay, some are good, and some are very good. So you will see that. And also due to COVID, if you see, the markets are down now. So I think this is a very good chance to accumulate very large cap stocks also, because these stocks are also down. Very large companies, their stocks are also down 20 to 30% because of this COVID. And also another tendency with most of the investors is that they will normally tell that these large cap stocks, their stock price has risen a lot. I mean, if you see the last 10-year or 15-year charts, you will see the stock price has risen a lot. And they will think that, I mean, this stock will not rise more in next 10 years because it has already risen a lot. So this is, I think, one of the very bad reason actually, not, I mean, one of the bad reason not that anybody can give to not to invest in a stock. So you should see still the potential of that stock, where the sales of the products that the company sales can go up in the next 10 years. If it can go, I mean, even the stock price will follow. And also, if you see the trends, the strong companies are getting stronger and stronger. If you see Reliance, HDFC Bank, these were already very strong companies, but they are getting more stronger nowadays. Okay, coming to HDFC Bank. So the first stock in my list is, of course, HDFC Bank. And this stock is in like each of the mutual funds. So if you go to any mutual fund portfolio, you will of course find HDFC Bank at the top. So about the management, it's a HDFC brand, and HDFC is known for like there are many other companies of HDFC, and they are known for very professional management. So what do I mean by professional management is that, so in their management team, it's not that, okay, the family members are sitting on the board or as a CEO. It's mostly very professionally managed. That means the CEO or any of the board members, they are chosen, I will say, I mean, they are chosen by some, I will say, other persons who are very experienced in that. And I mean, the way they are chosen, right? It's a very tough to get into the CEO of these banks or these brands. I mean, so that's why it's very professional management. I mean, you will see the CEO and other board members. They are very qualified and they have a very good understanding of the domain, the industry. Of course, HDFC Bank is the largest bank by profits and market capitalization in India. Other than that, it has return on equity of 17%. That's quite good for a bank. So normally greater than 15%, for me, it's quite good. And net interest margin. So net interest margin is mostly applicable for financial companies. So how do you think these banks make money? So what they do is they take money from you, from like retail. So you open I will say a bank account with HDFC Bank. Then you are putting your money into fixed deposits and savings account. Now this money, this bank, they will use this money and they will lend out this money basically to other people as house loans and car loans and other loans. And the difference here, right? So you would have you will get like say, let's say 7% FD returns, and they will sell the loans at let's say 12%. Let's say now this 5% difference here is their net interest margin. For HDFC Bank, it's 4.3%, and it's one of the highest in banking sector. And this has been very stable for long. Their other income itself is 20,000 crores, right? I mean, see their financing profit. So their main, if you see their main operation is of course this, I mean, banking, right? So their financing profit from banking is 15,000 crores. But other income is like getting income from credit cards. And also you will see banks handling the accounts of very, very big companies. So these big companies has to pay HDFC Bank some money. So that income, if you see, is 20,000 crores for credit card and this, I mean, fee management. So that's quite a lot of profit. And other than that, if you see the last 10-year charts for sales, it's grown at around 20%, and even profits at 25%. So that's quite good. And other than that, you will think that how this will increase their sales in the future, right? Because, okay, it has done good in the past, but what about the future? Of course, they have been gaining market share from public sector banks. Today also, most of the, I will say, banking industry, or I will say most of the deposits that the banks get, they are mostly part of the public sector banks like SBI, PNB, Bank of Baroda, and all of this. But these private sector banks like HDFC Bank and Kotak Mahindra Bank are getting a lot of market share from these public sector banks. For the last 10 year, if you see the CAGR, that is how much stock price returns you will get, that's 17%. And also in Nifty 50 index, HDFC Bank, as it's one of the, I will say, biggest companies in India, the weightage of this company in Nifty 50 index is 10.34%. That's quite high. Out of 100%, I mean 10.34% is just for HDFC Bank. And you can see the chart for here from, I mean, the stock price chart from 2005 to 19, how it has risen a lot. I do not think that it cannot rise more because it has been growing at 20% for a long time and is still growing. Next one is HDFC. So you will think that one was HDFC Bank. Again, I am talking about HDFC. So both are different companies. So HDFC is a brand. It has a lot of companies. HDFC Life Insurance, HDFC Asset Management Company. These are some other companies of HDFC. So HDFC Bank is of course a bank. From the name itself, you can guess. But HDFC is into housing loans, only into housing loans, nothing else. I mean, it is also into infrastructure loan, but it is mostly in housing loan. Most of the revenue comes from housing loans. Of course, it is the largest housing loan lender in India with, I think, 18 to 20% market share. Again, return of equity for this, I mean, HDFC is 16%, quite good. Net interest margin is 3.3%. Actually, not very good because banks normally have around 4%. I mean, they have, but normally this HDFC, I mean, this housing finance company, they do not have that much margin. So their 3.3% margin is also quite good. And other than this business of housing loan, they also have 50% holding in HDFC Life Insurance and HDFC Asset Management. So these two companies are itself very big companies. So HDFC will be getting dividends, a lot of dividends from these companies in the future. Other than that, they have 10% holding in Bandhan Bank and 18% in HDFC Bank. See this, HDFC has 18% holding in HDFC Bank. So if HDFC Bank does well, even HDFC will do well because it will receive a lot of dividends from HDFC Bank. Now, if you see the sales, compounded sales growth, 10 years is 23%. I will say quite good. Profit growth also, 10 years is 21.53. Again, quite good. 20% is very good in stock market. If the profit and sales are 20%, it's quite good. Now, okay, why should this stock do well in future also? Because the demand for house is still growing. It's not that the demand for house has saturated. Still now, people are taking loan and buying house. If you see the 10-year CAGR returns for stock price, it's 12%, not very good, but not very bad also. 12% is not considered very bad in stock market, but of course not very good. Because if you see the HDFC returns, it was quite, I think HDFC Bank was 17% and this is 12%. So, okay, not, I will say better than HDFC Bank. It has also a dividend yield of 1%. That's quite good. It pays a lot of dividend to you. and it has 7% weightage in Nifty 50 index. Another very powerful stock in Indian market. If you see the stock chart, okay, it has been like some rough ride in 2008, and current, if you see, the stock has fallen a lot. But still, if you see the, I will say the stock price, right, the from 2005 to 20 has been quite good. The rise has been quite good. Next one, again, we are. I'm not talking about the financial companies now. So Kotak Mahindra Bank is another bank. So it is founded and run by Uday Kotak. He is the richest banker in India. It's also the second largest bank by market capitalization. So first is the HDFC Bank, second is the Kotak Mahindra Bank. ROE is not, I mean, if you compare to HDFC Bank, of course, the ROE is not that much, but 13% is also not very bad. But maybe I will ideally look at, I mean, I ideally like that it should go to around 15 or 16%. Net interest margin is 4.5%. That's greater than HDFC Bank, and that's quite good. Then, okay, another good fact about Kotak Mahindra Bank is that they have not only banking, they have life insurance, asset management company, general insurance, health insurance, everything in their bank. So they have all these, I will say, products with their banking itself. Of course, their main operation is banking. Other than that, they have these products also. And also they have very high CASA ratio, greater than 50%. So CASA ratio is, I will say, so current and savings accounts, how many deposits they are getting into that. So Kotak Mahindra was giving a very high returns on savings account and fixed deposits. So a lot of customers deposited their money in Kotak Mahindra Bank. That's why we see CASA ratio is greater than 50%, very high. And if you do not understand these terms, I will say Google search it, and I mean, know about this, because I'm not going to explain that in this video. Maybe some in some other video when I am going to explain about each of these stocks separately, then I will discuss about what these terms mean. Again, Kotak Mahindra Bank, another private bank, is taking again market share away from public sector banks. That's good for it, for its sales growth in future. It has 4% weightage in Nifty 50 index and 21% CAGR returns in last 10 years. Again, very good, right? 21% CAGR returns, 10 years. Stock price chart also, if you see, it reflects that returns. Next one is, this is a FMCG company, ITC. So ITC again has professional management, in the sense that, again, I mean, their CEO or the boards, I mean, whoever are sitting on the boards, they are very professional people, and they are, I will say, I mean, see, I mean, how do I say this? So if you think about some exams, right? So you have very tough exams to crack. Then only if you crack that exam, then only you can, I mean, you get admission to say some college, right? Now there are a lot of students competing for that exam, and only the brilliant students will crack that exam. Similarly here also, there are a lot of CEO competing for the same position here, ITC, because it's a very big company. And there are some people sitting who decide that who is best qualified for running this, who has best domain knowledge of this. So this way they are very professionally run. It's not that there are some family members sitting and they pick up somebody from their family itself and run the company. If you see their ROCE, return on capital employed, it's very good, 35%. That means they are making very good money on their investment. They have zero debt. That's quite good. I mean zero debt, right? That's quite brilliant. Price to earning multiple of 16. That's quite low if you see other FMCG companies who trades at more than 50 price to earning multiple. So I will say this company is cheap now, but there is a reason for that. This, because most of the profits for ITC is still being contributed by cigarettes. It is a very cash rich company. So it has around 12,000 crores of cash profit each year, right? That's 12,000 crores cash profit each year. That's quite huge. They also, out of this 12,000, they give 6,000 crores as dividends. But the good news is that in future, they are going to give 80 to 85% profits as dividends. So you will be getting more dividends. And also ITC has cash reserves of more than 20,000 crores. So they may also give bonus or again more dividends in the future with this cash. Of course, they have 85% share in illegal cigarettes market. Other than that, they have very good brands like Ashirwad, Sunfist, Classmate, Bingo, Engage, Yippee Maggie, Sablon. So they have a lot of good brands also. and it has 4.3% weightage in Nifty 50 index. But its returns for last 10 years, stock price returns for last 10 years is not quite good, only 8%. But there is reason for that. I mean, because it is heavily dependent on cigarettes. Whenever you have budget and increase in tax on cigarettes, stock price reflects that. You will see the fall in stock price every time in budget. But it is trying to shift from cigarettes to FMCG, and that's quite good news actually, because they are trying to shift from cigarettes to FMCG. And if they, I mean, if the FMCG part starts triggering in the sense that if FMCG segment starts contributing a lot of profits, then this stock can also get like price multiple of 30 or 40 in the future. So if you see the sales growth is quite good, 11% is not bad sales growth for 10 years. Profit also take 10 years is around 14%, not bad. And also if at this current price, if it gives 80 to 85% profits at dividend, then the dividend it will be close to 6-7%. That's even greater than FD returns what you get. But if you see the stock price in the last I will say quite close to 7-8 years, it's quite flat. It has not increased much. Even, I mean, it has not increased almost in the last 8 years. So, but okay, this is, I told you, right? Not all the stocks will fare equally. Some will do very good, some will do bad, some will do very bad. So this is like, okay, it has done very bad if you see. Next one is Reliance Industries. Of course, everybody would have heard of this. Mukesh Ambani is the CEO and managing director of this company, and he is also the richest person in India. The return on capital employed is very less, 12%. But you have to also think like they are shifting from oil business to retail and telecom business or digital business. So in the future, their return on capital employed should increase. Profit margin is 15%. That's good. Reliance Industries is the biggest company in India and company with highest profit and revenue in India. It has two emerging business, retail and digital. That is Reliance Retail and Reliance Jio. And it is also trying to decrease its debt by selling stake in Jio. You would have heard that in news nowadays every day. Its compounded sales growth 10 years is 14% and profit is again 10%. But if you see 5 years profit growth, it's quite 13%, right? 3 years again 10%. So it's I mean, once they have entered the retail and the Jio, their profits are increasing a lot. Of course, 10 lakh market cap. It is the highest company having highest market capitalization in India. It has the highest weightage in Nifty 50 index, 11%. 12% CAGR return in last 10 years, but in the last 29% because of this Jio and Reliance Retail. And also the trigger for increase in sales in the future is entry into the high growth market. If you see the stock price, it was quite flat for 2009 to 16. Like for these many years, the stock price was flat. But after 16, once the investment in Jio started showing on the results, you will see the stock price. It was like some 400, 500, and it's now 1600, right? Quite good returns. Next one is Britannia, another FMCG company. It is run by Varun Berry, who is the CEO. It's professionally run and very old company. And also Britannia does not make bats. So you would have seen like Rahul Dravid using Britannia bats, right, for batting, but Britannia does not makes bat. It actually makes biscuits. It has 40% market share in biscuits market. Its return on capital employed is 44%. That's quite good. Operating margin 16%. Again, quite good. Okay, this biscuits market is quite saturated. So Britannia is expanding into other segments like dairy, bread, and it is trying to become a food company. You see the sales growth, 10 years, 12%. Profit, 10 years, 24%. Quite good. And this profit, if you see the 24%, why it is so much? It's because when Varun Berry arrived at Britannia, he has helped in increasing the operating margin from 4 to 5% to 16%. So these are some of the brands of Britannia: Time Pass, A Good Day, Marigold, Little Hearts, NutriChoice, all of this. Okay, 34% CAGR returns in stock price in last 10 years and 21 in last 5. That's quite great, 34% CAGR returns. Again, it is also a part of Nifty 50 index. And if you see the stock price, after 2013, if you see the stock price, 2013 it was just 500. Now it's almost close 3,500. It's all because of Varun Veri, who has increased the margins for Britannia. Next one is we are going to automobiles now. It's Mahindra and Mahindra, and Anand Mahindra is the chairman of this Mahindra group. It is into tractors, cars, and commercial vehicles. And also it has 40% market share in Indian tractor market. So it gets a lot of revenue from tractor division. ROC is not quite great, 13%, but it's also like ROC has gone bad because of their investment in foreign companies. Because of that, operating margin is 14%. It's okay, close to 15%. But one thing to keep in mind is that we have 6 lakh villages, but we have only 6 lakh tractors. That means we have only one tractor per village. So you can see how much, you can see the scope for this company, right? How much the tractors are, and the penetration level of tractors is very low, and one tractor per village is quite low. A compounded sales growth is quite good, 15%. Compounded profit growth, 13%. That's also quite good. It is again a part of Nifty 50 index, but returns are very bad. 4.4 returns in last 10 years and negative 4.47 in last 5. I told you some stocks in this 10 group has done bad. But fundamentally, if you see, they are not very bad stocks. They have very good market share in their products. They have good management. So it's all good. But okay, some stocks will do that. It will not be like all stocks will give you very good returns. And one of the reasons for these bad returns is that it has, if you see, fallen from almost 900 to 300 levels. It almost fell down. So that was a huge crash, and that's why you see a low returns here also. Overall, if you see the chart, it's quite good. Next one, another automobile company is Maruti Suzuki. Again, professional management, and it's they have Japanese promoters. So it's a part of Suzuki company. So Suzuki is a Japanese company. It has 50% market share in Indian passenger cars. So out of every 2 vehicles that you see on the road, out of every 2 cars that you see on the road, one should be from the Maruti Suzuki. And another good thing about Maruti Suzuki is that if you see the penetration level of cars in India is 22 cars per 1,000 people in India. And that's quite low. If you go to Europe and USA, it's like 900 or 800 cars per 1,000 person. Even in China, it's quite high. But India itself is very low, 22 cars. So that's why Maruti Suzuki is also in the list. It can increase its sales for long term. Its ROC is quite good, 18.5%. Operating margin is okay, 15%. It's a very cash-rich company. They have a lot of cash and they can invest it. Compounded sales growth 10 years, quite good, 15%. Profit growth again quite good, 18%. Again, part of a Nifty 50 index and 50% CAGR in last 10 years, quite good. But in last 5, only 7.75 because automobile segments or automobile companies has not been doing very good in last 2-3 years. That's why you see a large fall there from Maruti Suzuki also. Next one is the Asian Paints. So this is mostly for, I will say, into chemicals. And also Asian Paints is, of course, paints company. So it's related to housing also. It's again a very professional management company, greater than 50% market share in paints. So that's quite good. They have half of if you got like 50% market share out of every 2 paints, 1 paint is being sold by Asian Paints. The return on capital employed is quite good, 35%. Operating margin again quite good, 20%. And one good thing about this is that future demand for houses is going to increase. Similar to HDFC, as I told, housing loans will increase. Similarly, Asian Paints also, future demands for housing will increase. That's why, so Asian Paints are basically a proxy to housing. So their demand will also increase. And also it's not that you paint your house only once. You do repaint it like after 3 years or 4 years. And also compounded sales growth for Asian Paints is around 14% and profit is around 18%, quite good for 10 years. Again, this is also a part of Nifty 50 index. 21% CAGR return in last 10 years and 18% in last 5. You can see the stock price chart, quite great, right? It's going high and high and high. And the last one, the 10th stock here is Titan. Titan is quite different from all other stocks. It's a Tata Group company, very professional run company. It's into Titan. You'd be knowing Titan by its watches. but it's in eyewear, and today 80 to 85% of its revenue is contributed by jewelry segment, that is Tanishq brand. Its ROC is 26%, quite good. Operating margin is low, 12%, because I mean jewelry, if you see, it doesn't have a lot of margin, but here they play for the, I will say, the revenues. So the market is quite big here. And still Titan still has just 5% market share in India in jewelry segment. So a lot of, I will say, room for growth in jewelry segment in India for them. So that's why even with low operating margin of 12%, they can grow very fast. I mean, they can increase their revenue very fast. So that's why Titan also is here. Compounded sales growth, 17%, again, quite good. That's why I told, I mean, their sales are increasing a lot because they still have a lot of market to capture. Compounded profit, 23%. That's again quite brilliant in the last 10 years. Again, this is also a part of Nifty 50 index, and it has given 22% CAGR returns in last 10 and 5 years. That's again quite great, right? 22% CAGR returns. If you see the stock price chart also, it's quite great. And if you see the overall returns of these 10 stocks in the last 10 years, you would have got 17.5% return. That's quite great, 17.5% return in last 10 years. With FD, you just get 7 to 8%. This is 17.5%. Plus, if you see in this stock list, not all the stock has done very great. Some has done very good, some good, some bad, some very bad. But see, the stock which has done bad or very bad, I mean, you should not always look at past and say that this stock will not also do good in future. Simply opposite also. You cannot say that, okay, this stock has done very good in the past, so it should do very good in the future also. That's not correct. So that's why we should pick up very good fundamental companies which are very good in fundamentally, like they have good operating margin, good management, good return on capital employed. I will say good products. I mean, they have good products and market share in those products, and they also have ability to increase their sales in future. That's very important. So that's all for this video, and I hope like whatever my stock pickings was, you also do research on this and also provide your views on this. And from this, like I mean, so I have not this, I have Mahindra and Mahindra in my portfolio. I have Britannia, I have Reliance Industries, I have ITC, I don't have Kotak Mahindra, I have HDFC, and I have HDFC Bank in my portfolio. So almost 6 companies in my portfolio from here. Yeah, so that's all for this video. Do not forget to subscribe to my video. Thank you. Sorry, to my channel. Thank you.